She thought her life had finally changed after graduation, but she had no idea the real test was only beginning. Because the morning after accepting Logan Pierce's offer, the poor girl who once begged, "Can I borrow $100 to pay for my diploma?" walked into a world built by billionaires, unaware that every step she took was being watched, measured, and quietly judged by people who did not believe she belonged there. And while Logan saw potential in her, others saw a threat, especially the powerful executives who wondered why a CEO millionaire would personally invest in a girl from nowhere. But as she stepped deeper into Pierce West Holdings, past glass walls, secret meetings, and whispers she wasn't meant to hear, she would soon discover that the opportunity she said yes to came wrapped with hidden stakes, corporate enemies, and a truth about Logan Pierce himself that would shake her entire world. Why did Logan choose her out of thousands of students? Who inside the company wants her gone before she even starts? And what secret is Logan protecting that could either destroy her or make her unstoppable? The next morning, Maya woke before her alarm. For a long moment she didn't move, just lay there in the quiet blue light of dawn, listening to her heartbeat thud against the pillow. Her room felt different today. Not bigger, not brighter, just suspended, like she was standing on the edge of something she couldn't see yet. Her eyes drifted to the polished shoes sitting neatly beside her bed. She'd cleaned them again the night before, more out of nerves than necessity. The leather gleamed back at her, impossibly perfect, like they were waiting for her to step into a life that still didn't feel like hers. Her phone buzzed. A message from Professor Harper. "Proud of you, Maya. Whatever comes next, hold your head high." Maya stared at the words, then let out a long exhale she didn't realize she'd been holding. She got up, washed her face, pulled her hair into a low bun, and dressed in the simple black slacks and blouse she'd chosen, clothes that didn't pretend she was rich, but didn't apologize for her either. Then came the moment she dreaded. She slipped her feet into the shoes. They were too big, but they fit her better today. Maybe because yesterday, she felt like a girl wearing someone else's future. Today, she felt like someone stepping toward her own. The bus ride downtown was a blur of honking horns, rumbling engines, and her racing heartbeat. She kept checking the small envelope inside her tote, as if it might disappear. She reread the address until it blurred. When the bus finally hissed to a stop in front of Pierce West Holdings, she stepped off and forced herself to breathe. The building towered above her, steel, glass, and power. She'd only ever seen places like this from the outside. The kind of skyscrapers that felt reserved for people whose lives started with advantages she could barely imagine. She wasn't prepared for the security guard nodding at her like she belonged, or the receptionist greeting her with, "Good morning, Miss Collins. Mr. Pierce is expecting you," or the glass elevator rising so fast she felt her stomach lift. When the doors slid open to the top floor, her breath caught. Logan Pierce stood by panoramic windows overlooking the entire city. His suit today was darker, sharper. His posture so controlled it seemed carved, but his expression softened when he saw her. "You came," he said simply. Maya nodded, though words stuck in her throat. He gestured toward a sleek conference room. "Walk with me." She followed, her shoes clicking too loudly on the marble floor. She could feel eyes on her assistants glancing up from screens, executives pausing in glass-walled offices, soft whispers that stopped just before she passed. For the first time since meeting him, she realized something. Here, he wasn't just a well-dressed stranger or a man with a mysterious envelope. Here, he was someone powerful, someone people watched, and they were watching her too. Inside the conference room, Logan closed the door but remained standing, hands in his pockets. "Before we start," he said, "I need to understand something." She forced herself to meet his eyes. "Okay. Why did you say yes?" Her stomach tightened. "Because you offered me a chance I'll never get again." "That's not enough," he said calmly. "People say yes to opportunities every day and still sabotage themselves. That's not what I want from you." He stepped closer, not intimidating, but intent. "I chose you because you don't break even when life gives you every reason to. But this world," his eyes flicked toward the office floor outside, "this world doesn't care about your resilience unless you know how to use it." Maya swallowed. "I'm willing to learn." Are you willing to be uncomfortable? He asked. To walk into rooms where people whisper behind your back? To have people question why you're here? To be underestimated, challenged, doubted every hour of every day? Her pulse thudded. He wasn't exaggerating. He wasn't protecting her. He was warning her. She straightened. Yes. Logan studied her for a long moment. Something unreadable flickering in his eyes, approval, maybe, or relief. Then he moved to the conference table and opened a slim laptop. Names, photos, titles, departments, a whole world she didn't understand. These are the people you'll meet today, he said. Some will welcome you. Some will not. Some will pretend to. And some, his voice cooled slightly, some will assume I brought you here for reasons that have nothing to do with your talent. Heat climbed her neck. Why would they think that? Because they don't know you yet. He tapped the screen lightly. And because people in power are suspicious when someone enters the building without a golden resume or a famous last name. She clenched her hands in her lap. What should I do? Show them who you are, he said softly. The same girl who asked for $100 because she refused to let 4 years disappear over something small. The fighter. The one who doesn't fold. Her throat tightened. He closed the laptop and handed her a clean slate notebook. Your fellowship begins today, he said. But before you meet anyone, you need to know something. She looked up. His jaw shifted, the first sign she'd ever seen of hesitation from him. There are people here, he said carefully, who don't want you here. Not because of anything you've done, but because of what you might become. Her stomach dropped. I don't understand. You will, he murmured. Soon. Before she could ask more, a sharp knock sounded at the door. Logan's expression, hardened, professional, unreadable. Come in, he called. The door swung open. A tall woman in a fitted charcoal skirt suit stepped inside, heels clicking like a metronome. Her hair was sleek, her smile tight, her eyes cold. Mr. Pierce, she said smoothly, we need to talk about the new addition you brought into the building. Her eyes slid to Maya with icy precision. So this is one of them, Maya realized. One of the people who already wants me gone. Logan's voice dropped an octave, patient, powerful, unshakable. Evelyn, he said. This is Maya Collins, and she's exactly where she needs to be. The woman didn't blink. The war started silently, in a glass room, 40 floors above the city. And Maya couldn't tell yet whether she'd stepped into opportunity or danger. Evelyn didn't sit. She didn't smile. She simply stood there, tall, elegant, razor sharp like a wall Maya wasn't supposed to get through. Her eyes skimmed Maya, from head to toe, lingering on the polished shoes, the inexpensive blouse, the trembling notebook. Then she turned back to Logan, like Maya was a clerical error waiting to be erased. Mr. Pierce, Evelyn said. The board has questions. The board, Logan echoed without turning, always has questions. The difference is whether they're relevant. Evelyn's eyebrow lifted. Is this relevant? Her chin tilted toward Maya, who instinctively pulled her shoulders back, refusing to shrink. Yes, Logan said simply. She is. The single sentence wasn't loud, but it landed like a strike. Evelyn's jaw tightened. Her eyes narrowed with a nuance Maya couldn't yet read, not dislike. Something colder, something calculating. I see, Evelyn said, voice like glass. Then you won't mind if I take Miss Collins for onboarding? HR is waiting. Logan's expression flickered just barely. A tightening around the eyes, a shift in posture. It was the first time Maya realized he wasn't just powerful here. He was contested. And bringing her meant stepping into a war she didn't understand. Evelyn, he said slowly, I will handle her orientation myself. That's irregular, Evelyn replied. So is talent. Logan countered. Their words didn't match their tones. This wasn't conversation. This was chess. Evelyn stepped closer, heels clicking sharply. We cannot make exceptions based on personal preferences. Maya felt heat crawl up her neck. The implication hung between them like smoke. Logan didn't flinch. My decisions are not personal. Are you sure? Evelyn asked softly, too calmly. The question sliced the room open. For a heartbeat. No one spoke. Maya's pulse hammered so loudly she could barely hear. Logan's voice, when it finally came, was low and lethal. "Leave," he said. A single word. Evelyn didn't react, not visibly. She simply exhaled, smooth and unbothered, and gave Maya one last, razor-thin look. Not jealousy, not disdain, a promise. This isn't over. Then she turned and walked out as gracefully as she had entered. The door clicked shut soft, but heavy enough to feel like a warning. For a moment, neither Maya nor Logan spoke. The quiet settled between them like dust after a sudden storm. Maya found her voice first. I don't think she likes me." Logan almost smiled. "Almost. Evelyn doesn't like anyone. She tolerates me because she has to." "Why?" Maya asked. "What did I do? You existed," he said, "and that's enough to upset certain people." She blinked. "I don't understand." "You will," he murmured again, then straightened. "Come, let's walk." They stepped out into the open concept executive floor. Glass offices formed a maze, each one transparent but somehow secretive. People moved with purpose, fast, efficient, confident. Heads buried in tablets, voices low in private conversations, eyes sharp with ambition. Every step Maya took felt too loud, too new, too exposed. Whispers followed her, not loud enough to identify words, just soft, watching murmurs that clung to the air. Who is she? Why is she with him? Pierce brought someone. Is she an intern? A recruit? Something else? She swallowed hard and tried to keep pace with Logan. "Don't look down," he said without turning. "How do you know I was?" "Everyone looks down the first time," he said. "Don't." She lifted her chin. The moment she did, something shifted. She met people's eyes. Some looked away quickly. Some held the stare a beat too long. Some looked curious, cautious, confused. None looked welcoming. They passed a conference room where 3 men in suits paused mid-discussion to watch her. One of them leaned to whisper something. Another smirked. Logan caught it. His steps slowed for half a breath, not enough to draw attention. Just enough for Maya to sense the shift. "Keep walking," he said quietly. She did. When they reached the far end of the floor, Logan stopped before a glass partition, overlooking the street below. The city buzzed beneath them like the hum of a giant machine. "This world isn't gentle," he said. "No one here cares that you worked 3 jobs or fought to graduate. They care about advantage, strategy, leverage." Maya's fingers tightened on her notebook. "I don't want leverage. I just want to do the work." "That," Logan said, "is why you're dangerous." Her head snapped toward him. "Dangerous? I what?" He stepped closer, not threatening, but closer than before. His voice lowered. "People who don't play games," he said, "often destroy those who do. You don't know how to manipulate, or scheme, or posture. You're honest, direct. You move with purpose. That terrifies people who built their careers on illusion." She stared at him. "But I don't even know how to do any of this." "You'll learn," he said, "and people like Evelyn will try to break you before you do." Her stomach twisted. "Why? I'm nobody." Logan's eyes sharpened. "You're exactly what this place needs," he said, "and exactly what some people fear." Before she could respond, a man approached mid-40s, sharp suit, sharper stare. "Logan," he said with a polite nod. Then turning to Maya, "And you must be the reason the entire floor is whispering." Maya opened her mouth, but Logan stepped slightly in front of her, not blocking her, but subtly positioning himself like a shield. "Daniel," Logan said, "this is Maya Collins. She's starting a fellowship under my supervision." Daniel's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Under yours? That's unusual." Logan didn't blink. "Get used to it." Daniel's gaze slid over Maya like he was assessing a new problem. "Welcome," he said smoothly. "We'll see how long you last." Logan's voice turned to steel. "She'll last." Daniel smiled again, the kind of smile that hides a blade. "We'll see." He walked away. Maya's hands shook. "I don't think he likes me either." "No," Logan said, "but liking you isn't the point." He turned to her fully, gray eyes steady. Scene 1 was about stepping into a new world. Scene 2 is about understanding its cost. Her breath hitched. "What comes next?" she whispered. Logan's voice dropped. "What comes next," he said, "is the part that will test you." Maya followed Logan down a quieter corridor, where the walls shifted from glass to muted steel. The air felt heavier here, colder, more private. Conversations from the main floor faded behind them, replaced by the faint hum of servers and the click of distant keyboards. It didn't feel like the glamorous part of the company. It felt like the spine. "This floor," Logan said, slowing his pace, "is where the real work happens. Not the PR, not the polished presentations, the decisions, the numbers, the truth." Maya nodded, but her throat was too tight to speak. Her pulse raced with every step. She still felt the echo of Daniel's smirk, Evelyn's frozen smile, and the weight of whispers they hadn't tried hard to hide. "I know what you're thinking," Logan said without looking at her. "You do?" she managed. "Yes." His voice was steady. "You're thinking you don't belong here." She swallowed. "Maybe. You're wrong," he said. "But that's fine. Most people feel that way their first day, even the ones born into money." He stopped in front of a sealed glass door with a biometric scanner. For a moment, he studied her face, searching, evaluating, something between challenge and reassurance. "Whatever happens in this room," he said, "I want you to watch, not shrink. Listen, not panic. And most of all, don't try to impress anyone. People can smell desperation in a place like this." He pressed his thumb to the scanner. The door clicked open. The room inside was a long strategy chamber, sleek, dimly lit, with a black stone table stretching across its center. Screens lined the walls, glowing softly with graphs, maps, and scrolling data. A handful of executives sat spaced around the table, murmuring among themselves. The room went quiet when Logan walked in. Not respectful quiet, alert quiet, threat quiet. Maya's feet nearly froze, but Logan didn't stop for her. He walked to the head of the table and took his position like a man stepping into his natural habitat. "Maya," he said. Her stomach lurched. He wanted her beside him, not behind him. She stepped forward, feeling eyes slice through her. One of the executives, a broad-shouldered man with silver hair and a voice that sounded like gravel, spoke first. "This is her?" he asked, not bothering to hide the skepticism. Logan nodded. "Yes, Maya Collins." Another executive, a woman with gold-rimmed glasses and an expression so neutral it bordered on icy, leaned forward. "Mr. Pierce, forgive the bluntness, but most fellows are screened for months before they enter this chamber." "She's not most fellows," Logan replied. A flicker of something annoyance, curiosity, passed across a few faces. Maya kept her eyes forward, though her heartbeat thundered in her ears. The silver-haired man studied her. "You don't look like the type of candidate we usually hire." Logan's jaw hardened. "What type is that, Robert?" Robert didn't answer. He didn't need to. Maya drew a slow breath. She had seen this kind of man before in scholarship panels, in job interviews, in rooms where her thrift store clothes and community college background made her sound like a charity project. She felt Logan's gaze on her, silent encouragement. She spoke before fear could swallow her. "I know I don't look like I belong here," Maya said, voice steady despite the tremors in her hands. "But I'm not here to look the part." A few brows rose. She continued, "I'm here because I work hard, because I don't quit, because I've never had the luxury of failure." Gold-rimmed glasses woman tilted her head. "Your resume is unconventional." Maya nodded. "So is my life. But if you're looking for someone who understands how to solve real problems, someone who knows how to survive pressure, someone who doesn't break, then I'm exactly the type." Silence. Sharp. Electric. Logan didn't hide his satisfaction. But Robert leaned back in his chair, unimpressed. "Confidence is admirable, Miss Collins, but confidence isn't competence. What experience do you have that translates to corporate strategy?" Maya opened her mouth, but Logan stepped in. "You brought me here at 22, Logan said evenly, with zero experience, no pedigree, and an accent the board mocked behind my back. "You called me a gamble. And you were? Robert countered. And I paid off. Logan replied, calm but deadly. So you'll forgive me if I recognize the same fire in someone else. The room went quiet again. Then the gold-rimmed glasses woman spoke softly. Mr. Pierce, your judgment is respected here, but this is highly unorthodox. Good, Logan said, because the orthodox way has produced nothing but stagnation and inflated egos. The subtle jab wasn't subtle at all. A ripple of tension traveled across the table. Robert's face tightened. If she fails, she won't, Logan said. And if she does, Robert pushed. Logan paused, then looked straight at Maya. Then I will take responsibility, he said quietly. Her breath hitched. He wasn't staking her reputation. He was staking his. Another shift rippled through the room, this time deeper, sharper. An unspoken message. If she rises, he rises higher. If she falls, he falls with her. The gold-rimmed glasses woman finally leaned back. Very well. We will allow her to observe the session. Robert scoffed. Fine. But don't expect me to slow down the discussion for her. Logan's reply was ice. If Maya asks a question, you will answer it. Robert's jaw flexed. This is not a classroom. No, Logan agreed. It's a battlefield, and she's on my side of it. A hush fell over the room. For the first time, Maya saw what Logan was really doing. He wasn't just letting her into the building. He was positioning her in front of people who had spent their lives gatekeeping power. He was drawing a line and putting her firmly behind it. The meeting began, charts flashing, numbers shifting, terms flowing so fast her head spun. But Maya took notes furiously, her brain catching patterns, her instincts catching what didn't make sense. At one point, she raised her hand. Robert groaned. This isn't. Logan didn't even look at him. Let her speak. Maya pointed to a section of the chart. The projected growth doesn't match the data trend. The dip isn't because of market instability, it's because of internal inefficiency. Probably staffing. Maybe communication flow. The room stilled. The gold-rimmed glasses woman leaned forward, scrolling quickly. She's right, she murmured. Robert's face soured. Logan almost smiled. By the time the meeting ended, Maya's notebook was filled, her nerves buzzing, her mind exhausted, but her posture was different. Straighter, taller, stronger. As executives filed out, some glanced at her differently. Not with welcome, not yet, but with a new curiosity. Logan waited until the room emptied before turning to her. How do you feel? He asked. She let out a shaky breath. Like I was thrown into a hurricane. And I'm still standing. Logan nodded once. Good, because this is only the beginning. Her pulse surged. What comes next? She asked. He met her eyes steady, unreadable, but with a flicker of something dangerous underneath. Next, he said softly, you find out why certain people here are already plotting to remove you. Her blood ran cold. Because the game you just walked into. Logan stepped closer, lowering his voice. Is much bigger than you think. The hallway outside the strategy chamber was quieter than the rest of the floor, but Maya's pulse still thundered in her ears long after the meeting ended. Her notebook felt heavier, almost hot in her hand, as if it carried the weight of everything she'd just witnessed. Numbers, strategy, tension, power. But nothing felt heavier than Logan's warning. People are already plotting to remove you. She followed him down the corridor, trying to steady her breath. Her legs still trembled from adrenaline, her palms damp despite the cool air. Don't overthink it, Logan said as they walked. I'm not, she lied. He didn't call her out, but his silence said he knew better. They stepped into an elevator with mirrored walls. The doors slid shut, trapping them in a cocoon of soft light and faint reflections. Maya's gaze flicked to her own reflection, eyes wide, hair slightly loose from stress. The polished shoes grounding her in a world that still felt too sharp for her skin. Logan pressed the button for another restricted floor. I know today felt like a storm, he said, but storms clarify people. Weak branches fall fast. Strong roots hold. Is that supposed to comfort me? She asked, voice shaky. It's supposed to prepare you, he said simply. The elevator hummed downward. Why would anyone want me gone? She finally asked. Logan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he watched the floor numbers descend, jaw tight, as if deciding how much truth she deserved or how much she could survive right now. When he finally spoke, his voice was lower, edged with something dangerous. There are people here, he said, who built their careers on being the smartest person in every room. People who expect power to flow through them, not around them. She nodded slowly. And I'm interfering with that? You're disrupting it, he said. They don't understand how you got here. You didn't come through their system, their mentorship, their networks. You didn't ask their permission. You walked in because I opened the door. She swallowed. And that bothers them. No, Logan said. It terrifies them. The elevator doors slid open. This floor was colder, quieter, the lighting dimmer, the air heavy with the sterile hum of servers and controlled climate systems. What is this place? Maya whispered. Logan walked ahead, expecting her to follow. Pierce West's analytics core. Everything the company relies on. Financial forecasts, predictive algorithms, confidential models they're built and stored here. Maya's breath caught as she stepped past rows of glass-walled rooms filled with silent screens, pulsing codes, data streams. She couldn't begin to understand. Why did you bring me here? She asked. To show you what you're fighting for, he said, and what some people don't want you to see. He stopped in front of a workstation where the lights dimmed automatically as they approached. Logan keyed in a passcode. She didn't try to memorize too many numbers, too fast. A wall of projections lit up, complex models, charts, timestamps, names of departments. Her eyes caught on something blinking in red. Variance flag? She asked. Logan nodded. There's a discrepancy in one of the reports Robert's team submitted months ago. A small variance, but it has big implications. She frowned. Is it bad? Bad if you're honest, Logan said. Useful if you're not. Her stomach tightened. So, someone manipulated something? Possibly, he said. Or someone missed something. Either one can cost us millions. And some people don't want outsiders asking questions they didn't prepare answers for. Meaning me, she murmured. Meaning you, he confirmed. She stared at the projections. Her pulse quickened, not from fear this time, but from instinct. She recognized the patterns, the dip, the inconsistent data points. It was just like the discrepancy she'd noticed earlier in the meeting. You saw this already, Logan said quietly, watching her face. It looked familiar, she admitted. That's why I chose you. He murmured. Her cheeks warmed. But I didn't do anything special. You saw the truth without being told what to see. Logan cut in. That's rare. She looked down. And that's why they want me gone. No. His voice dropped lower. That's why they fear what you could become if you stay. Maya's throat tightened. He stepped closer, careful but intentional, letting the silence settle before he spoke again. Listen to me, he said. What you did in that room today, that wasn't luck. It was clarity, instinct, and the people who have spent decades hiding inside polished numbers and curated presentations felt exposed. I didn't mean to expose anyone, she said. I know, he replied, but that's what makes it powerful. He turned back to the screen and tapped a file. Evelyn, Daniel, Robert, 3 names appeared, each connected by glowing lines, departments, projects, influence webs, intersecting points, power flows. Maya felt a chill move down her spine. We're not talking about office gossip, Logan said. These 3 are the reason the board resists change. They've built their own alliances, and they will attack anything that threatens the structure they control. So, she forced the words out. I'm a threat. You're a disruption, he corrected. Someone they didn't expect. Someone they can't predict. Someone I chose without consulting them. She clenched her fists. So what happens now? Logan turned off the screen. The room dimmed again. Now, he said quietly, we prepare for what's coming. Her heartbeat paused. What's coming? She whispered. He looked at her with an expression she hadn't seen before, something protective, something dangerous, something that made her pulse skip. "A storm," he said. "One you didn't ask for, but one you're already standing in." Maya felt something shifting inside her. Not fear. Not yet, but something sharper. "Resolve. Tell me what to do," she said. Logan's eyes locked on hers. "You don't run," he said. "You don't bow. You don't shrink. You watch. You learn. And when the time comes, you outthink every single person who doubts you." Her breath trembled, but she nodded. "I can do that." "I know," he said softly. "That's why you're here." They stepped back into the elevator. But before the doors closed, someone's reflection appeared behind them. Evelyn, watching, expression unreadable, arms folded, like she'd been waiting and listening. The doors slid shut. Maya's stomach dropped. The storm had already begun.